In my first video, I listed some car models with bad drivers, but what actually makes a bad driver? Number 5. Speeding or showing off in traffic. No, not casual speeding. I think most of us are guilty of sometimes going a few kph above the speed limit, but some people seem to think that these speed limits are mere suggestions. They apparently don't realize the possible consequences of doing 200 in an 80 zone. Another example of this overconfidence is when rear-wheel drive cars start sliding all over the lanes in traffic. There are places you can do this without endangering others, you know. Number 4. Not merging properly. You're in busy traffic and a car in front of you decides to turn left. The lane is easily wide enough to fit 2 cars, but for some reason the car in front decides to stop in the middle of the lane. So you just have to wait till they can turn before you can pass them. Most times I see this kind of behavior with a small car like a Yaris or a small crossover, like a Juke for instance. I've had a theory that people who buy these kinds of cars don't just have the confidence to maneuver anything bigger. Anyway, this is even worse when combined with the next item. Number 3. Indicating way too late or not indicating at all. This is talked about a lot. But then again, it is one of the most common annoyances you see in traffic. To be honest, I'm generally frustrated every time I see people skip their indicator uses, but there are situations where it's very disruptive to traffic flow. And even dangerous. Let's say you're on a country road with a fairly high speed limit. Suddenly the car in front of you just stops, so you have to brake hard not to crash into them. And then they just casually turn left, possibly with their phone in their hand. This is both very inconvenient and frankly dangerous. Then there are these situations in slower traffic. You want to enter a busy roundabout, but you have to give way to the constant flow of traffic coming from the left. There are no gaps unless a car exits just before your entrance. But if they don't indicate, then you can't anticipate these gaps. So you just stand there waiting until someone finally has the courtesy to tap the indicator stalk. It's the same if you want to turn left in a busy intersection where you have to give way to both left and right traffic. You finally see a gap, but you have to evade a single car coming from the left. And then they turn right, either not indicating at all or turning their indicators on right when they turn. Turns out you didn't have to give way after all, but because they didn't indicate in time, you missed that gap and now you have to wait for the next gap, which can take minutes. If you find me cursing in traffic, this is one of the most common reasons. Number 2. Slowing down or stopping where you shouldn't. It's annoying in general when people drive way below the speed limit, but this is on a completely different scale. Let's say you're following an insecure driver and they suddenly slow down or stop at a green light. A major inconvenience, but even worse is when they stop in the middle of a roundabout. I've seen this happen a couple of times, and it's hard to imagine how these people manage to pass their driving test. Sometimes cars also stop to give way to other cars or light traffic that don't even have the right of way. If they do this to me, I frantically just try to wave them by. No, I don't appreciate the courtesy. Don't mess with the flow, just go. And number 1. People who drive below the speed limit, except when they can get past. Everyone who drives in the countryside here has most likely seen this behavior. Let's say we have an 80 km/h speed limit, and these moving roadblocks are doing 70 or less. Then there's a good long straight with good visibility, and they accelerate up to 90 or more, so you can't pass them safely. And then you arrive at a place with a passing lane with 100 kph speed limit. Then they accelerate up to 110 or more, just to slow down back to 70 when the passing lane ends. Then there are the times when they are driving below the speed limit, you decide to pass, so you accelerate and switch to the left lane, and then you wonder why the car doesn't show up in your mirrors, just to realize that they started accelerating the moment you got alongside. This is stupid, reckless, and dangerous beyond comprehension. I don't want to say what these drivers deserve out loud because I don't wanna be cancelled. In the end, I'd say at least one of these three main factors play a role. Overconfidence, underconfidence, and pure selfishness. Are we doomed to endure these for the rest of time? I hope not. Please play your role right and drive safely. Take care.